So, Lucky, please confirm that you are ready.
Yes.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our signature program, Speak with a Diplomat. And today is going to be a quite an interesting one, and we'll be looking at the life of a city boy, and that is from a diplomat who is based here in Lagos. And at this point, I will hand over to Ms. Tosin, who will read his bio, and from there we get going. All right, Tosin, over to you.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So I'll be reading the bio from Mr. Mahesh Gowda, and I'm going to begin. Mahesh Gowda is a first-tour diplomatic technology officer who joined the Department of State in September 2023. Originally from Cincinnati, Ohio, he studied at the eponymous University of Cincinnati, completing an undergraduate program in information technology, minoring in Asian studies, and obtaining an MBA. He joined through the Foreign Affairs IC Fellowship and completed and Taiwan before his first and current assignment in Lagos starting March 2024, where he has seized many opportunities to advance the department's IT modernization agenda. Outside of his work, he patronizes Lagos' lively arts sectors, even having hosted an event on his own and dime at the Goethe Institutes. He also curates global music playlists, explores new cuisines, and reinforces his Chinese language skills. And that is all that we have on Mr. Mahesh Gowda. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, let's read that. Okay, thank you for the great introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm Mahesh Gowda. I've had, as Tosin remarked, I've been here in Lagos for the past 2 years, working as a diplomat at this very consulate, and it's been a fun, enriching experience. Lots of ups, a couple downs, some learning experiences, but it's been this is actually my first real job outside of college, so this has been a great introduction to the world, to Lagos, and to the department. So thank you, everyone, for coming out, and fire away. Let me... have a lot of...
All right. Okay, so Mahesh, thank you so much for that short introduction. So just as a start, can you just tell us a little about yourself, and what's been the fun for you being a diplomat in Nigeria? Sorry, you are muted. We can't hear you.
See Bedu now. See this Bedu. Okay, so anyway, yes, the fun. I mean, some of the fun and some of the benefits of being a diplomat have definitely been some of the ways of getting this access, getting this networking into these, especially these art spaces. I mean, like I mentioned before, I've been involved a little bit in the art scene here. I mean, it's a very broad involvement. It's not like I've been directing my next blockbuster and it's going to release in theaters tomorrow. But I've been able to make a lot of friends because really a lot of it is like the people that I've gotten to meet. I've gotten to meet some very interesting people. And of course I want to pay it forward. So we want to try to we've hosted events in the past too that try to like help facilitate networking, help facilitate those connections, help get those people who have similar ideals, artistic objectives together. So to be more specific as well about one of the of the deep down political economic networks. Yes. Oh.
Thank you very much. We also would like to know, what does it take to be a diplomat?
So to be a diplomat, really, I think the first thing is being flexible, being open to new things, being able to understand cultural differences and how to, perhaps bridge them or negotiate them. Because in this field, right? I mean, there's always going to be, the whole point is to bridge different perspectives in order to achieve shared goals. So I think really that's the most important part, because I could say, of course we could say, well, just go into political science and you'll become a diplomat in no time, or go into this field or that field. But really, I mean I'm doing IT here and I still get to do some diplomatic stuff. So really it's just proof that whatever field you are in, there is something to do to advance diplomacy. Maybe it's not necessarily within the consulate or the diplomatic mission or the embassy, but in terms of like, international exchange programs, outreach programs, foreign development. There's a lot of fields where international connections and diplomacy are sorely needed.
Thank you very much. From what I'm hearing, your job has to do with tech. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that means computer scientist and could also be a diplomat. Okay.
Yes, it's possible.
Okay, so I would like to know, for your experience in Nigeria, have you in any way tasted jollof rice? Have you in any way had the opportunity of wearing Nigerian fabrics? Would like to know.
Okay. So of course now, see, this is a typical question for all immigrants to Nigeria. Of course, I've chopped jollof, of course I've chopped fried, chopped all sorts, I mean, really my favorite is amala with correct begiri and ewedu.
Amala àti gbẹ̀gìrì.
Yeah, Benny.
Ah!
Mo kọ bẹ èdè Yorùbá ni.
Ah!
Èdè Yorùbá ni. Mo jẹ́ ọmọ Yimbo. See, I'm not a very well integrated migrant.
Can we put our hands together for him? So, as we go along, if you have any question for him, this session is actually designed to interact with our diplomats. Usually, you don't get to meet our diplomats just on the street, but now we have brought them here for you to interact with them. Please restrict your questions to non-policy issues. So you could ask him, does he like playing football, or what are his hobbies, and that's why he's here, or what are his experiences, while in previous posts. So those are issues that we want to track here. So while we're waiting for others to ask you a question, I also would like to know, um, while you are here, have you seen any kind of opportunity here, especially for young people? We have a lot of youth here, and many of them think there's nothing here. Uh, it's always green at the other side of the world, so they are eager to move out of the country. But have you seen any opportunity at all here in Nigeria?
Okay, I mean, I'm not an economic theorist, but I do see plenty of opportunities. There's plenty of things to do. It just requires the support and capital. But when it comes to tech, right? There's some major startups, even like 1 billion unicorn startups here in Nigeria. And that's something you really can't get, in a lot of other places in Africa, because Lagos, this is the biggest city in Africa. This is the biggest, most populous city, right? And it certainly shows. I keep telling people this is like New York and Los Angeles combined. Wow. Yeah. Seriously, New York, Los Angeles, and a little bit of Miami too. I mean, there's plenty. Of course, when it comes to fintech in particular. I've even heard of one, pay by WhatsApp. It's like a fintech startup that lets you pay by WhatsApp, based in Osobo. Based in Osobo, I believe. Osobo. Actually, Osobo is here. Yeah. Here, isn't it? Aren't they? So shout out Osobo. Shout out Osobo.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think he has so much knowledge about this place than even most of us.
And yeah, I think there's a
Thank,
reason plenty of people. I swear, I think I see more people. I see more people who get off the plane. So more like foreign citizens who get off the plane than who get back on. So, I think, of course, it's complicated, right? It's more complicated when it comes to this hierarchy and structure. But, other than that, of course, there is always the extractive industries are popular. I think consulting, real estate are popular. And of course, business is plenty. There's plenty of growth opportunities, in my opinion, that can be filled. They just need, like I said, they just need the right support and infrastructure. Infrastructure is pretty important. And that's something where I think if the country can get the infrastructure to be improved to the right standards, then there will be a lot more growth opportunities facilitated by that. That's just my opinion.
Thank you very, very much. I have a question here from Enugu. As a city boy, in quote, what surprised you the most about Lagos, either culturally, socially, or professionally?
Okay, so culturally, to really emphasize the city boy part, I heard a little bit about all the fun, all the jare jare that you can get up to here. But what I really didn't know is, when I came here, I didn't realize how much there is to do, how good Nigerians are at partying, right? Of course, from you have to admit, right? Of course, from the music scene and all that. I did not expect that. Something also, I wouldn't say necessarily surprising, but something that was very heartening to me is how much everyone has welcomed me here. I have to say, like, everyone has been very kind to me. They've been really great at including me in things, and that's how, I feel very, very welcomed here. I want to thank everyone here for that. It's a very welcoming country. Thank you.
Thank you.
So professionally, I would say, you know, I think I was surprised by I think there's a somewhat of a paradox sometimes when it comes to some of the tech offerings. This is where the infrastructure part comes in, because, there's a lot of, phone payment is very advanced. We don't have that quite yet. In the US, it's not as normalized in terms of phone transfers and payments. We have, but we have plenty of we have plenty of internet options. There's like a super hub of connectivity for West Africa here. But on the other hand, sometimes some things I didn't realize were the amount of interruptions and disruptions that I would face here, to be honest. That's something, like I said, it's an infrastructure problem, but I mean, I didn't even notice, like, why is the fiber always getting cut at law school? Sorry, I have to remark on that. It's something that I have to deal with on my job, but it's a relatively minor circumstance.
Thank you very, very much. Can we have any other question? If you want to ask question, please raise your hand, and then we're going to call you.
Saw your hand first.
Okay, I can see a hand at the back. Can you please shout your question from the back?
Please, yes.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Cousin from Haiti Global Academy. So my question is, what are the process of being a diplomat as a Nigerian or as an African?
Okay, so in terms of I can't give you the exact specifics because each country has its own different, path and workflow, but I can tell you mine in general terms. So for me, I entered through a fellowship opportunity, which also helped speed things up a lot. But in either case, I mean, the normal way is that you have to apply. That is the biggest thing. You have to apply. If you see a listing, so for example, I would assume it would be on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They will have their listings in order to showcase, what jobs they have available, what job types. So you go and give your application, and then if it comes time, if they have enough placements, you have to go and sit on the exam, the civil service, foreign service exam. And if you pass the exam, then usually, in my experience, you'll go to basically diplomat school. You've shown the exam itself is going to be all about, for me, it was mostly about responding to, being able to represent the country, being able to bridge cultural differences, being able to best navigate relations without any missteps, and dealing with intercultural problems even at work, and things like that. So after the exam, then there's diplomat school. That's basically where they're going to teach you about the bureaucracy, the methods, the processes of diplomacy, and then some of the legal aspects, especially, for example, like consular work is something that involves a lot of legal aspects because it involves nationality law. For me, of course, diplomat school was mostly about the government technology, which was it's quite different from the private sector. So definitely not, of course, it's a little behind, but it's also way more secure, but we're getting there in steps. But basically, after you go to diplomat school, then you get your assignment. I don't know how it is going to be in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. For us, we got a list.
Of course, it's different. It's different here in Nigeria.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. I didn't want to cut you off, but I'm also seeing some hands here.
No worries.
Can we go to Bauchi before we get to Enugu? Bauchi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What is the most surprising thing you have learned about Nigeria since arriving to Nigeria?
I think he has addressed that.
I mean, I think there are some more surprising things. To be honest, some people,
okay.
I think some people, they see Nigeria as not a country that has a lot of immigrants to Nigeria, and that is something I did not know about all the dynamics. So I didn't know, I figured there would be some, but I didn't know about, for example, a lot of the West Africans, a lot of the Ghanaians before I was assigned here. Then I did my research. And then when I got here, I was surprised to see, of course, demographically, there's a lot of Lebanese and Indians and Chinese in Lagos. I think that's something that is very much missing from some of these conversations and discourse, is that, Nigeria, is also is a host country for immigrants and migrants as well. But that's
Okay.
just my personal opinion. I don't want to get more into that. That's
No, this is personal. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Can we go to Enugu now? Oh, do we still have somebody in there, Bochi?
Yes, yes, we just have one more question.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to know how you handle a situation like, can you describe a time where you couldn't solve a technical issue? A time when you couldn't solve a technical issue. So what comes to your mind? Like, what's the next thing you could do? Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So I think it's not just technical issues, but it's also other issues, right? I think the first thing is I'm always reaching out to people. The great thing is, with how tight knit our diplomatic corps is that there's always someone in the world to reach out to who maybe is having the same issue, right? So for example, if maybe there is some sort of connection issue or I can't access a specific resource or it's giving a specific error message, and I know not only can I reach out to our dedicated team, but I can also, and this is not just for technical questions, this is for general bureaucracy, right? I can talk to other people at post, I can ping other people all around the world, maybe someone in my position in Maseru or in Addis Ababa has had the same issue and knows the exact solution to fix it.
Thank
So
you
I think
very
honestly, reaching out has been the greatest solution. It's been the greatest solution finder.
Enugu, over to you. Unmute yourself.
Good morning, sir. Just a quick question. Thank you for the opportunity. So my question is, what was your greatest challenge as a diplomat in Nigeria? And for students who want to pursue their career in diplomacy, how can they begin? Thank you.
Okay, so I'll go do this backwards. I think there's no one size fit all formula for a student who wants to pursue diplomacy. I think the typical recommendation is to go into political science, to go into international relations. And I think that is very helpful, definitely, in terms of getting that expertise in terms of country to country relations, especially if you want to specialize in certain fields. I think learning another language is also helpful as well. Of course, us Americans, sometimes we're too monolingual. We speak English and then expect everyone else to speak only English. But so I think that also helps give us the edge. But yeah, I think definitely it's very hard to pinpoint a specific process because every time, it's also about what you bring to the table beyond your education, like in terms of your personal experiences, your perspectives, the ways that you can connect with people. And then when it comes to greatest challenges I face as a diplomat in Nigeria, I feel like it's difficult to quantify challenges. I feel like maybe it would be I would give a mix of two. It's like half and half. One would be bureaucracy, which is, I guess, ironic because we're also pushing bureaucracy, but in terms of, unfortunately, yeah, sometimes in terms of processing everything and having to fill out all the forms and, dot the I's and cross the T's and also waiting for the response back especially from the host countries, it can be a little tough. It can be a little slow. It can be pretty stressful, right? Especially if you're waiting for example, if I'm moving across countries, that's another big challenge, is having to move all the time. It's just, I love being able to have the opportunity to travel to multiple different places, but having to move is very stressful. In fact, this is actually tomorrow. I'm actually flying out tomorrow morning this is actually my second to last day on this assignment. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot of packing out on my mind, and you just have to coordinate a lot of things there and make sure you've got everything packed out or given away, and that you've facilitated all of your paperwork to leave. Otherwise, if you have, for example, if I have my bank account there, or if I've left something there, then it's going to be very difficult, or maybe even cause some issues later down the road if I don't get it resolved.
Thank you very much, Mahesh. Can we go to Lekki quickly? We're running out of time. Lecky.
Okay. Okay, hi. Nice to hi, nice to meet you. I'm just wondering, are there specific courses one has to study before you become a diplomat? The road to becoming a diplomat, so to say.
Sorry, sir, can you hear us, sir?
Yeah. Yes, I heard. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. So about specific courses, I would say, like I said before, it's like, there's no specific course, international relations, political sciences, econ helps a little bit in terms of the typical diplomat, but I would say really it's also, there are specific courses that I had to study after I applied and passed the exam and while I was in basically diplomat training. So, some of those courses are like how to represent the United States abroad, like in terms of being able to differentiate a little bit how to manage risks. Sometimes there is a little bit of a risk. There are certain bad actors who do target us for our perceived knowledge of things or our perceived values of strategic assets. And of course there's also some more lighthearted things such as how to protocol at representational events, because in my position I don't attend a lot of representational events, but you do have to be careful sometimes about protocol, about how to direct people and how to address someone properly, or how to make sure to redirect people in a civil or polite way if they go onto a certain topic, or if they need to, or if that you can't help them but someone else can, right? So there's a couple of nuances there.
Thank you. All right, let's quickly go to Abuja, American Center. American Center, Abuja.
Hello, good day. Can you hear me, Mahesh?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, that's great. It's great to see you, and it's great to speak with you. I know that you do stuff around the technological space, around technology. There's a lot of intersection in today's world between esports, sports, and technology, and I know that plays a big role in diplomacy today. Sports is very important. Sports is one of those few key things that kind of unites the world and gets even some of the nations that are not in the best position to talk to one another to actually interact. So you've been in Nigeria for a while. What can you say are some of the opportunities that you found in and around that space, if possible, leveraging sports and technology? Thank you.
All right. So ironically, I actually don't play. I play a lot more sports than I do esports. It is kind of ironic, but I definitely see a lot of opportunities when it comes to international collaboration and technology. Like I said, right, there's more and more infrastructure build out, especially in terms of fiber capacity that is being built up like mad. That helps with reducing latency, helping with reducing latency in order for the esports athletes to be able to be more competitive. And of course, I think with just more and more, especially with the mobile gaming space, there's a lot of opportunities there because the barrier to entry is lower. But right now, I do think that really there needs to be, if someone would set up more servers here. People are building servers like mad across the continent, not just Lagos, not just Nigeria, but Lagos in particular. There's plenty of server rollout, plenty of telecommunications rollout. I think if more and more game companies started to look at building servers here, they would really return. They would get quite a good return, of players, and in terms of players and play quality and esports opportunities. Especially you see that with certain telecoms like MTN, they want to emphasize all of the things that you can do with their internet. At least they post their ads everywhere. Go mad, go make a difference. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not sponsored by them. They don't give me any money. Okay, I just see them. good. But yeah,
Thank you.
that's it.
All right. Can we go straight now to Makodi?
What advice will you give to Nigerian youth for personal and career development?
Okay, so in terms of personal career development, I think, to be honest, the first one is network, because you never know who will have an opportunity that they might share, or some sort of, funding or grant or anything, just anything that will strike your interest, right? I think that's the first one. And I think the second one is, be aware of your potential and don't be afraid to fail, because failure is just another step in the road of learning.
That's interesting. Thank you very much. Can we go to Calabar? Calabar.
Sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My question is, as an entrepreneur, can you also be a diplomat?
If you mean if you're an entrepreneur and can you shift it to diplomacy, yes. I believe anyone who is able to show how they can apply their skills best can become a diplomat. But in terms of being an entrepreneur and a diplomat at the same time, that's a little bit more difficult, because then there's two issues. The first thing is splitting your time between the business and the diplomatic job. The second one is conflict of interest, which, if you have to make sure, of course you can do it. There's people who do it. They will, some people have small businesses on the side, but if they have to make sure that their position as a diplomat doesn't involve any conflict of interest with their business, in terms of, like, for example, procurement or any other benefits that are given to that business.
Thank you very much. Let's go back. Oh, okay. I can see Benin City. Benin City, over to you. Then we'll go back to American Center, Abuja.
All right. Good morning, sir.
Please go ahead.
Good morning.
We can hear you.
Okay. My question is this. Does America have funds for startups, especially tech
No,
startups?
that's not part of our discussion today, sir. Any other question?
Okay, sir.
This is not the question for. Yes, let's go back to American Center now. American Center, Abuja.
No, we can see us. Very good. Can we?
Go ahead. Okay. All right. Thank you. So my name is Unikachi Kingsley. We're just having a little bit discussion here with my new friend. Then we're talking about the foreign policy and appointing non-career diplomats to represent as ambassadors of a country. And the argument is regard to the recent appointees made by our president. And in the course of our conversation, I share with them that for you to be a career diplomat in terms of ambassador, you have to be knowledgeable and also be very well sound in terms of foreign policies. I see that some of the appointees cannot go in as ambassadors, because you are like the president of the nation wherever you are being sent to. So in your journey as a diplomat in tech, will you say that your career, what you studied, your background, projected you to this point where you are as a diplomat in tech? Or is it also right that someone who has no knowledge in policies, maybe like politics, international relations, or any form of diplomacy, coming in as an ambassador when you already have career diplomats? Maybe they are not appointed yet, but they've been in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for a long time with that level of knowledge. Can someone just come from nowhere for interest of politics, be appointed to represent a nation or a country to be the non-career diplomat heading the mission? And in that case,
it's okay. I think I can help you. Because yes, I can help you. What you are saying in essence is this: can we have someone who is a non-career diplomat without any form of training in diplomacy be appointed and be effective as a diplomat? That's you know, I don't want our guests to be drawn into Nigerians situation. You know, the answer to that question is very, very simple. The government of every nation decides who represents it. Next question. Can we go to Duse now? Duse, over to you. Duse.
So my question, sir, can you hear me?
Yes, quickly.
Yes.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Oh, my question is working at the intersection of diplomacy and tech, or to say tech ecosystem, what are the key challenges there? Because I believe there must be challenges because it is not your field of specialization or something like that. There must be challenges in that field. So what are the key challenges as a tech guy for you?
Okay. I think
Mahesh,
yes.
Without giving too much out,
okay.
You can answer the question.
Yes. I mean, I think it's just, big challenge is seeing how to make it work best for us, right? Because sometimes it can be a bit of a push and pull between the private sector's needs and the government's needs. So it can be I think the biggest challenge is making sure that we have the technology that works best for us and that we can implement the necessary modernization in a responsible and secure manner in order to, especially in certain, high risk or high potential, in terms of potential diplomatic issues or security issues. So I think that's the biggest challenge.
Thank you very much. I can see on the chat box here, somebody in Kefi says, good morning, the city boy. What is the area of your studies? Well, it's in tech. Then from Ikeja, he said, how many Nigerian states have you been to? What are your experiences? Are they different?
Unfortunately, I've only been to Lagos and Abuja it's just due to my schedule and the necessary requirements for any trip planning, especially some of it is a little bit related to our security because we are, just to make sure that we don't get into any issues when we're in maybe places that are a little more unfamiliar for Americans or diplomats. Right? It's too bad. I would have loved to go to Ile-Ife, but
I can see also that your Yoruba is even better than many of non-Yoruba speakers.
No, it is not. It is not.
Let's put hands for him. Yes. You will hear from some people who have been in Lagos, but because they were not born, even some were born in Lagos, they will tell you they don't know how to speak Yoruba, but now you are knocking Yoruba anyhow.
It's only the one phrase. There are plenty of people who just got to Lagos last year and they're already speaking Yoruba just as fluently as Wole Soyinka.
Interesting.
It depends on the environment, really. It depends on the environment,
Yeah.
Very English speaking environment, just so, maybe if someone is, if they're working in a different space, maybe like a different place that is maybe more Yoruba phone, more Yoruba speaking, then they will learn faster. That's just it.
Okay. Now, let me pose the last question to you. I was wondering, I asked a question about the attire. Have you ever put on any Nigerian attire? And have you bought any?
Yes, I know I'm not in my finest abada or senator right now. Yes, diplomats dress like this too. It's actually our official. It's actually a uniform.
Okay. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
That's plenty. I
I
know.
want to.
Which shows that you're single? Which one shows that?
I think he knows a lot about this garb. Fila. We call it fila. Okay. I think one more came in just now. Let me see. Okay, I think I've taken it. Okay, finally, Lekki. I've seen Lekki's hand right now. Unmute yourself.
Okay, you can go ahead. Good morning. My name is Israel Adeniro. So the question I want to ask is, as a diplomat, how can you support your country in solving their peculiar issues, like maybe, for example, the image of the country, within and outside, and also cultural matters and all of that. How can you be able to provide some solutions to that? Thank you.
Please, may you quickly ask your question, madam? Okay, quickly ask.
Okay, good morning. My name is Margaret. So I want to ask, I don't know if you have said that before. I want to know your roadmap towards being a diplomat. Like you said, there are no specific courses. It's just being pleasant, know your ways, little things. But something connected you. What was that niche that you follow? What is that magic that happened that put you at this path at your young age? I don't know if you were born and bred in America. Yes, somehow, how did you enter this path? Whether it can be inspiring to any other person.
Okay, so if you're asking about my specific path, so for me, like I said, I entered through a fellowship, and the down and dirty secret is that my advisor in college actually sent me on this path, because she's the one who gave me the resources to know that doing tech and diplomacy is something that is possible. Because before I had the link from her, I didn't even know this was a career path. And then I saw it and I was like, wow, okay, tech and diplomacy together. Wow. Amazing. So anyway, I won't subject you to any more of my first grade pigeon. So but yes, after I saw that process, I applied. I had to write an essay. I had to show how I would benefit, what inspired me to become a diplomat. And it's not just that, I did have people I know, I did some internships in the private sector, but I was thinking, I wanted to do some work with more meaning. I wanted to serve the American people, so I was thinking more about the public service. And when I saw this was an opportunity, I'm like, wow, now I can serve people all across the world and do tech and travel. Amazing. Perfect for me. So yeah, after I filled out the application, I waited, and then I got the email that I was approved, and it gave me the, time path, the roadmap so I had a couple of internships, one domestically in the United States and one in Taipei at the American Institute in Taiwan. So, and then after that, I took the exam and went to diplomat school. So it was a little easier than the normal path because everything is defined for you, but there's plenty of people, they just see the application, they see the job posted, and they apply, and then, they wait for an opening, and then they come in when the time is right.
Thank you very much.
what skills or experiences are most valuable?
Sorry, you're muted.
Oh, so sorry. I said I've been asked to ask this question. What skills or experiences from your background have proven most valuable in your current role in Lagos?
So I would say, of course, we can point at my tech skills from studying technology, being able, especially when it comes to enterprise development, that helped me understand, because it's a big organization. The Department of State is a big organization. So that helped me understand the scope and how we have to support such huge organizations. But other than that, I also minored in Asian studies. And while I would say, of course, it's like, this is Lagos, it's not in Asia, so you could say, oh, it's not directly relevant, but still it showed, that gave me a lot of the background to understand the intricacies of, international relations, some more of the nitty gritty. I mean, for me, it's more of an optional thing, but I feel like it helped here. Other things from my background, to be honest, I would say it's also my heritage, I already had to navigate cultural differences between the American culture and then my descendant, like my diaspora heritage culture of South India. So that already gave me some experience in navigating these cultural boundaries and being able to fit in multiple spaces, being able to occupy multiple cultural spaces at a time. So that's helped me personally in my social development here in Lagos.
You're muted. What are some of the common misconceptions about diplomatic life that you've like to address based on your experience?
Okay, I think the most common is that diplomats are always wearing suits, going around in Rolls Royces. They get away with everything with diplomatic immunity. It doesn't work like that. Okay, because I mean, as a public servant, yes, we get benefits, but we're not going around, we don't have we're normal people, to say the least. Even I thought, you think you're going to be with, like, for me, it's like everyone is a normal American person, and that's good. I mean, of course, everyone has their qualifications, but it's also not like they're like, all like pinky finger up, drinking tea, all fancy all the time. And of course, also with diplomatic immunity, there's a lot of misconceptions to that. It doesn't give you a blank check to get away with everything. It's only in the course of your duties, and it applies differently to different people. So it's not like, you can't just go and rock in and do whatever you want and leave and you will not face any consequences. There's still ways that countries can place consequences on diplomats who behave poorly or who commit crimes. It's more just to protect them in the nature of their job.
Thank you very much. And the final of the final is, can you please share a moment when you felt truly connected with the spirit of Lagos as a city?
Too many moments. There's too many moments to pick one, but I think this is really tough, because I've had such a great time here. I've gotten to know a lot of people. I think sometimes it's just when there's so many issues, and then people all come in to help, right? When my car broke down, and then everyone came to help push it, all the way to a free parking space, so we could work on it. That's like minor moment. I think on a more happy note, I think some of it would be, being able to host some events with, my local friends, and being able to go discover new places, go talk to them and really connect, right? But like I said, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, I've lived here for 2 years, so I've had countless moments.
Thank you very, very much. There you have Mahesh Gowda, the Diplomatic Technology Officer, U.S. Consulate, Lagos, Nigeria. Let's put our hands together for him. So thank you very much for coming. We are so appreciative of your coming this morning. And as you can see several people. If you look at the screen behind you, you see quite a lot of people all over the country. They've learned a lot from your life experiences. We thank you for coming. Let's put our hands together again. So thank you, everyone. Please, let's look forward to another edition. Next month, we're going to have another Speak with a Diplomat program. Bye for now. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for the warm reception. I hope you got a lot of valuable